All right. You able to see the screen now? So just for a recap, what we saw is the center of mass position is given something like this, right? Right, no? Summation of mi I mean all individual particle masses multiplied with their
Yeah.
coordinates divided by the total masses. Similarly, y of center of mass is also given
Total mass
in the
of.
similar way. Okay.
Yeah.
So we even saw that when we want to find the center of mass of a continuous body, we saw that how to find the center of mass of a rod, a semicircular wire, a
And
semicircular
a plate.
disc, and all those things. So in that case, what you do is you take either xdm, and we do it something like this for the x
Okay.
coordinate,
Yeah.
and for the y coordinate we do it something
Yeah.
like this. The formula is same, only
Yeah.
instead of summation it is integration, right? So what we do
Yeah.
is we take a small element, we take its coordinate and integrate it from the lower limit to the upper limit so that it covers the whole body, and that way we get the coordinates of the center of mass,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Right.
And with this method we just saw that we can calculate center of mass using this integration method for continuous body. Then what we saw that the force external is basically equals to mass into acceleration of the center of mass. Okay, if the individual particles are moving all along, we are not worried about those individual particles. As a whole, the center of mass will be moving with an acceleration ACM only if there is an external force. Otherwise, with internal forces, if individual particles are moving, the center of mass will not be moving in that case. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we saw, that force external, for a center of mass to move, there has to be an external force acting on the body. Right?
Yeah.
Then after that we saw collision. We saw that there is a
Elastic.
inelastic collision and elastic collision.
Yeah.
So in elastic
Then
collision we saw
elastic
some different.
collision. Kinetic energy as well as momentum is conserved.
Yeah, in perfectly elastic collisions, in
Yeah.
perfectly elastic collision,
Yeah.
you saw that kinetic energy is conserved, and your momentum is also conserved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right.
In inelastic or anything other than perfectly elastic,
P is not
uh,
conserved, but K is always conserved.
P is always conserved.
K is.
P is momentum, no? It will be conserved always. Kinetic energy will be lost, no? In case of in form of deformation and
Okay.
all.
If P is not conserved, that means there is a force, right?
P is not conserved. That means there is an external force. So
Yeah.
external force basically is equals to mass into acceleration. This means what? Rate of change of P, no? dp by dt.
Yeah.
You can write it something like this, no? Mass into dv by dt. Acceleration you can write now like this. So this basically means dp by dt. Mv is dp, right?
Yes.
So rate of change of momentum is equals to force external. That means if force external is acting, that means momentum is going to change. If it is not acting, that means if force external equals to zero, that means rate of change of momentum is zero. That means momentum is not changing. Momentum is constant. Right? That is just hold on. हेलो पढ़ा रहा था यार पता अगर मैडम कर लो हम्म किसका क्या क्या नहीं समझा हाँ हम्म हम्म कि कौन सा लिफ्ट तू 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 आ रहा था क्या हम्म अच्छा तुम और डिस्किट था क्या दोनों हम्म ओ,
नहीं था
फ्री फॉल हो गया क्या? कंप्लेन किया कि नहीं? अरे यार बोलना, क्योंकि हम लोग में भी एक आध बार शायद ऐसा प्रॉब्लम हुआ था। मतलब ऐसा फ्री फॉल वाला प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, बीच में कहीं टक से आवाज आता था, बीच में लड़ता था, तो लोग हमेशा कंप्लेन करते हैं ऐसे। अरे यार, साला टेंशन वाला बात है। हाँ। अरे हालत खराब हो जाएगा यार, फ्री फॉल समझ रहे, फ्री फॉल बहुत डेंजरस लगता है ना। हम्म, वही तो। मान लो, नहीं मान लो वो तो कोई तो खोल देगा आके, लेकिन बात है कि फ्री फॉल जाके कहीं टकरा जाता तो रुकता नहीं। अगर मान लो टकराता तो। क्या क्या क्या, फैन चल रहा था? अच्छा, देख भाई ध्यान से। ध्यान से रखो। लिफ्ट यार वैसे देखो जनरली ऐसा नहीं होता है, बट समटाइम्स अगर ऐसा हो जाए तो बैड लक ही है एक तरह से देखो तो। वो सब तो है प्रॉब्लम यार। ये थोड़ा सा इश्यू है, ऐसा डर डर हो जाता है। बात है कि फ्री फॉल एक होता है कि अचानक से बंद हो गया, रुक गया, इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग। फ्री फॉल मतलब कि टेंशन वाला बात है। ये सब तो है। बहुत ज़्यादा चोट, जो चोट लगता है यार, चोट लग जाता है नीचे गिरता था ये तो है, लेकिन कंप्लेन कर देना। कुछ होता होगा सेफ्टी मेजर्स, कुछ होता होगा इन केस पूरा फ्री फॉल होता है नीचे तक, तो कुछ वैसे सेफ्टी होता होगा लास्ट मोमेंट पे। हम्म। अच्छा, कोई और उसको ऑलरेडी बुला लिया, तो नीचे से ऊपर जा रहा था क्या? अच्छा। ओ यार। अरे, अभी ठीक है ना, तो लोग ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं हुआ? हम्म। अबे ठीक है, देखना भाई, बता दिया ना, कंप्लेन कर दिया ना, वो कर देगा लोग। क्योंकि वो वारंटी भी होता है यार, 10 ईयर्स या 15 ईयर्स का कुछ वारंटी भी होता है उस सब कंपनी का। तो ऐसा कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो, ऐसा है तो बढ़िया कंपनी का, बट देखना है। मैं भी नहीं तो अपना ग्रुप में डालता हूँ कि ऐसा भी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है। चलो यार ठीक है, चलो ओके। हेलो। 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 हरी।
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, it is mute.
Okay, sorry for the. Okay, I had got a call actually. So what we saw is we saw collisions. So collision, you just have to understand that momentum is always conserved, whether it is elastic or inelastic collision.
Okay.
Why it is so? Because you just saw that rate of change of momentum depends on external force, right?
Yeah. So external force.
And when there are two bodies
Wait,
colliding, there
wait.
is nothing
Yeah, there's no
which is acting from outside, no?
external force. Yeah.
So all whatever the forces between them acts, it's just all I mean internal forces only. So momentum can be conserved in this case. So let's
Right.
say one body m1 is there and another body m2 is there. Let's say initial velocity v1 and initial velocity v2. After collision, let's say they move in still the same direction. I mean same horizontal level. I mean this we are considering in one dimension motions. Okay, in one dimension only.
Yeah.
And let's say the final velocity of this is v2 dash. So we saw some cases in this case. So first case was like when the m1 mass m1 is too much greater than mass m2. All right, no?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Listen.
So this is one case we saw. So what we saw that in this case what will happen is final velocity of mass m1, this is final velocity of mass m1, will be equals to initial velocity of mass m1. That means mass m1, since it is too much heavier than mass m2, it is just moving with its same velocity, and mass m2 was not having any effect on it. We just told you to remember it with the help of a truck example, right?
Yeah. You told me.
So that way you can remember whatever velocity it was moving, it will still continue to move in the same with the same velocity. What will happen to mass
And
2?
so
Its velocity will become equals
velocity will
to,
become v1 plus
it will become equals to the velocity of the
1 of
2
1
times
plus.
the
Okay, okay, that okay. I
2
thought it's
times
plus of v2, right?
2
2 times
times the
v2 plus
velocity of v1
plus
and
v2.
minus v2.
Okay, minus v2, but v2 is
Okay,
0
if v2 is 0, then it becomes 2 times of v1
and
if v2 is equals to 0. This basically means what? The smaller body, which was, if it was kept at rest, then
yeah,
what will happen is it will get away. I mean, it will go in the in the same direction
yeah,
with twice the velocity of the truck.
yeah,
All right, no?
yeah.
So that way you can remember. So with twice the velocity of the truck, it will just fly away. Okay, that was one case. The second case, what we saw was
Yeah,
when m2 was too much greater than
yeah,
m1, right?
right.
So that means this body is very huge mass in comparison to the m1. In that case, what will happen is the velocity of m2, that means the final velocity of m2, just hold on, I have to see the formula also. The final velocity of m1 becomes,
Yeah,
the final velocity of m1 becomes negative of the velocity of m1 plus
okay.
2 times of velocity of v2. This cases generally doesn't come. In that case, it will become what equals to minus v1 if v2 is equals to 0.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that means if let's say m2 was a huge body and m2 was a wall, let's say,
hmm.
okay, and
Yeah,
some
so
ball you are
later,
throwing
yeah.
on it. So what will happen is this ball will return back with the same speed. If it was going with
Yeah,
v1 speed, it will return back with the same speed v1 itself in the opposite
okay.
direction.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
that is the case of when m2 is too much heavier than the first body. All
yeah.
right. And
Okay,
what will happen to m2? Then m2's velocity will basically be equals to the velocity of m2, whatever it was initially. So you can understand it in a case that it will not have any effect on the heavier body. So heavier body generally doesn't face any effect,
yeah,
right? No.
yeah, good.
So in this case, what will happen is it will be equals to 0 if v2 is 0. All right.
Okay,
So that means the wall will be there itself. If it was at rest, it will be at rest. It's not going to move
okay.
because of a ball. A small ball, it is not going to move.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Right.
Yeah,
The third case we saw was m1 was equals to m2. So
hmm.
in a perfectly elastic situation, what will happen is v1 dash will become equal to v2 and v2 dash will equals to v1. Their
Yeah,
velocities will be interchanged. Right now,
yeah, good.
this is what we saw in the.
Yeah.
I just also told you how to remember it. So
No,
you
one
can
second.
just
It zoom like did you zoom in the page or something?
know, maybe you have zoomed. Just try
Uh,
to
so, internet zoom it on.
zoom out करिए ना.
Visual zoom. Thanks. Yeah, good. Just like this.
So this I told you how you can remember this is, let's say you are just throwing a ball here in this direction,
Yeah,
and this another ball of same weight is stopped here. So what will happen is after this case, let's say this was m1 and this was m2. What will happen here? M1 will come and stop, and m2 will start moving with the
the
same
same velocity
velocity.
as that is on M1. Yeah.
M1. So this is
Say
how
the,
you can remember that their velocities are basically interchanged.
yeah. Say the goalie thing, that goalie this
Huh?
thing. The goalie example like
Yeah, the goalie example you can think of, or ball bearing if you just Would have ever tried? You can just think that if you strike one ball with another ball, the first ball stops and the other ball starts moving,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Now we'll see the case of perfectly inelastic body.
Okay.
Perfectly inelastic. In this case, what happens is the two body. Let's say there is mass m1 and it is moving with the velocity v1. There is mass m2. It is moving with the velocity v2. Finally, what happens is both of the balls will stick together and they may move with a velocity v. So they are sticking together and moving now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is perfectly inelastic body. So you can just
Stick
imagine it in
together
a
and still
situation.
moving.
Huh?
They're sticking together and they're moving, right? That's okay.
They of course will be moving because momentum has to be conserved. No, whether it is
Yeah.
elastic or inelastic, momentum has to be there
Yeah.
because initially
Yeah.
there was some momentum, right?
Yeah.
So finally also there has to be some momentum. Now
Yeah.
the thing is, you can just remember it with an example of let's say this is a wet mud and this is also a wet mud,
Right.
and they are moving along each other and then they are sticking together and then they are again moving. All right.
Okay.
So this is a case of perfectly inelastic bodies. So in this case also what will happen is your momentum will still be conserved. So that means mv1 plus m2v2 will be equals to your final momentum m1 plus m2 into the common velocity v, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your
Correct.
kinetic energy will not be conserved. Kinetic energy
Right.
is not conserved
Yeah.
because kinetic energy is conserved only in case of perfectly
Perfectly,
elastic.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now what
Yeah.
will happen is we also saw that velocity of separation
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They are separate.
is equals to e into velocity of approach.
Okay.
Okay. So velocity of
Yeah.
separation basically is uh,
So,
from the previous example, if you can see, velocity of separation is basically if two are moving to each other and then they are again moving with some another velocity. So they may be this particular distance between
yeah.
them may be increasing.
E is velocity restitution, right? That's what you said last class.
No, I'm talking about v1 and v2. E is velocity. E is the coefficient of restitution.
Yeah. Simple. Yeah. Coefficient of it.
Okay, so what will happen is they are getting closer. No, they are getting
Yeah.
closer here, so that is the velocity of approach. So they are colliding and they are just separating apart.
Yeah.
So that will be the velocity of uh, separation. So this will velocity of separation will be basically what v2 dash plus v1 dash.
Mm.
Or if they are moving in the same velocity, same direction, then v2 dash minus v1 dash. Okay,
Okay.
and here the velocity of approach will be what? Again v2 dash.
V2 dash minus V1. Sorry.
Since v1 will be greater here, so
V1 minus
v1
V2.
minus v2. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, the velocity of separation and velocity of approach, if you see, the velocity of approach separation is equals to e into velocity of approach, where e lies between 0 and 1. And e is called what? Coefficient of
Yeah.
restitution.
Restitution.
All right. So if it is 0, let's say e is equals to 0, this means what?
E is equal to 0 means E cannot be 0.
E will be equals to 0. No, in
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
case
Sorry. I
there
told
is
this.
no. So what is
I took
that?
the mathematically. Yeah. Then the velocity of separation is 0. That implies velocity of separation is 0. That is it's sticking together and it's not moving. I mean,
Right.
it
So
is
that
moving.
means it is the example of a perfectly inelastic.
In elastic
So they are
coefficient.
not separating at all between them. So there is no velocity of separation. That means this case.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Yeah.
So this perfectly inelastic case. So they are sticking
Okay.
together. What about
Yeah.
perfectly? I mean, when E is equals to 1, then what?
When E is equal to 1, then it's perfectly elastic.
Perfectly elastic because the velocity of
Perfectly
separation
elastic.
will
Yeah.
be equals to velocity of
Velocity
approach
of
in that
approach.
case.
Yes.
All right. So we had
Yeah.
seen in the derivation. All
Mm.
right. The another case is, let's say, collision in two directions.
Okay.
Collision in
Yeah.
two dimensions.
Mm.
Now the same case, nothing special in this. So what we had seen now is they were moving in this direction, and after the collision also they are moving in the same direction, right?
Right.
Now the case may be something like this. So one ball was there and another ball was there. They were moving in this direction. After they strike to each other, they may move in another direction.
Okay.
So let's say this was M1, M2, and after the collision they may move in another direction.
Right.
All right.
And
Now the same case will be there. So you have to again conserve the momentum. So momentum is a vector quantity. That means how you have to conserve it. Let's say this is angle theta, and let's say this is angle phi. Okay.
yeah.
So what how you have to conserve is, let's say this is velocity v1 dash and this is velocity v2 dash.
Mm,
This was velocity v1 and this was velocity v2. That means initial momentum was how much? m1 v1
mm,
plus m2 v2.
mm.
That will be equals to what? m1 into v1 dash cos
No,
theta.
so one second. V1 and V2 the velocity of approach, right? So then these two collide, and then these two. I mean, we know the V1 is greater than V2, right? If this is true.
Yeah, initially v1 is greater than v2. We are
So collide.
considering here
Yeah.
whatever it is. Maybe it is perfectly elastic also, or maybe it is
Yeah.
inelastic
So
collision also.
in order for these two to collide, then V1 should be greater than V2.
Yeah, of course, v1 should be greater than v2. After collision, this is the case. They are moving
But
in two different directions.
yeah, but there's no, like, it's not the case that the V1 dash should always be greater than V2 dash. It's like,
No, it's nothing like that.
okay.
V1 should be greater than v2. No, this
Yeah,
has to
yeah,
be
that
greater.
is that. Yeah, but
Then only
yeah,
there has to be, I mean, a collision, right?
yeah, yeah. Of course.
Okay, so now the thing is, when you are conserving momentum, you have to conserve the direction of the momentum also,
Okay.
because momentum is a vector quantity. So
Yeah.
we are taking the momentum here in the horizontal x-axis direction.
Yeah.
So we have to take this momentum also in x-axis direction,
Yeah.
right? Because what we
Yeah.
did is we just took the component of this vector along this direction and this vector along the x-axis direction. Initially it was in x direction only. Finally also we are taking the component of, this is what is, this is was m1 into v1 dash is the momentum in this direction, m2 into v2 dash is the momentum in this direction. But we have to conserve it in the direction wise also, because conservation of a vector quantity means conservation of its magnitude as well as the direction, right? So
Yeah.
if the initial momentum was in x-axis direction, the final momentum also should be in x-axis direction. So those are conserved. What about the other components? So if you see the other component, they cancel out. So in this case, what will happen is m1 v dash sine theta will be equals to m2 v dash m2 v2 dash sine phi, right? No,
Yeah.
because since initially there was no momentum in this direction, finally also there should not be any momentum in this direction. That means one vector quantity in this direction and the other vector quantity in this direction should cancel out,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
in case question comes for two dimension motions, what you have to see is you conserve it in each direction. So
Okay.
it may happen something like, they may give you questions like this. So there are two bodies coming from this direction, okay, colliding at one point
Yeah.
and then moving in another directions, okay. So in this case, what you have to do is you can split this into two directions,
Mm.
okay. Take the components along this direction individually. I mean, the component of this vector in this direction and this vector in this direction, and then conserve here also the same thing.
Yeah.
Again, the same component you can take in these directions, and then again the final ones also you can take in the same directions, and then conserve it individually. What I mean to say is, in x direction also you have to conserve, and in y direction also you have to conserve. In the previous example, initially
It's
it was
like,
only in x direction,
correct.
so we
Yeah.
conserved only in x direction,
Okay.
right? Cases may be there in wherein you will get multi-dimension in the beginning itself, during the approach itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that
Yeah.
case, you have to split in two directions and then you can individually conserve it. Got my
Correct.
point?
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
Yeah, you take it.
okay. So we'll move on to your,
Current electricity. Electrostatics.
right. So
Yeah.
electric field or electrostatics field, right?
No, wait a minute. Apple window. What is this one? Yeah. Apple window.
uh, okay, so here also it is basically whatever we are studying in mechanics, only those things we have to study here. The only
Yeah.
thing is the difference will come in terms of force.
Yeah.
The force which we were considering in your Newton's laws of motion were due to the mass of the body. Here, what we will be doing is we will be considering the forces due to the charge of the body. All right.
Yeah.
So, charge is basically the property of the body.
Yeah.
Understood? No,
Property
like
of
the mass is a property of the body. Similarly, the charge is also the property of a body. Generally, bodies will be neutral.
hmm.
So when the number of protons and the number of electrons are not matched in a body, then we can call it
Yeah.
as electrically charged. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is our convention to assume that the electrons are negatively charged and protons are positively charged. Okay, no, so there is no negative sign assigned to an electron and there is no positive sign assigned to a proton, but we have just assumed for our, since they are attracting each other. See, a charge which is positive and another charge which is positive, they are repelling each other, right?
Equal, equal. Yeah.
And when another kind of a charge is brought to
Conductor is
together, they
attacking.
are attracting each other. that
Right.
means that means there are two different type of charges,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that's why if different type of charges are brought together, they are going to attract each other. So we
Yeah.
have assumed that there is some kind of a negative charge and we have assumed that there is some kind of a positive charge. Okay,
Right.
and we have assumed that we just assign electrons to be negative and protons to be positive. It's our convention. All right, no. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
people started referring to charges, they just assign electrons to be negative charge. All
Right.
right. So now
Yeah.
we'll study. So what is a charge? So first thing is charge is the property of a body.
Yeah.
Okay, and the unit of charge will be, I mean, this will be represented with the symbol of Q
Yeah.
or small q. Okay, the unit will be what?
Coulomb.
Unit will be coulomb. Sorry. All right,
Yeah. Good.
and it is represented as C. Okay, so what is the charge on an electron is?
Minus
Charge
one
on
point
an electron is
minus 1.6 and 10 to the power minus 27. So
minus
20.
19, I guess. 10 to the power
Minus 31 kg, I think.
minus 19 coulombs. Yeah, that is 10 to the power minus 31 kgs. That is the mass of the electron.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. So now
20.
what we have to see is what is the force. Let's say there is a charge q1 kept, and let's say there is a charge q2 kept,
Two. Yeah.
and there is a distance r between them.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to
Yeah.
find what is the force acting between these two charges.
Okay.
So force acting between these two charges
Separation
is,
or repulsion? Both. Wait, no, repulsion or
uh,
attraction?
so both,
Yeah.
both forces will be having the same magnitude.
Hmm.
Okay, the sign of that we will see, don't worry.
Okay. Okay. K
Okay, so
is
k is a constant. So what we basically find is the force is directly proportional to the one charge, the second charge, and it is
it's most
inversely
likely
proportional
to
to
the
the
magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to the distance between them.
square of the distance between them, right?
Yes.
So this force can also be written as,
Hmm.
this force can, in the vector terms, it can be written something like this:
Yeah.
k into q1 q2 by
2 by r square. And
r
with
cube
r cube.
into
Yeah.
r vector.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So if we just want to write it in terms of vector, I mean in terms of vector notation, giving a direction to it, so it is along the direction of r itself. So let's say if you assume this as origin, so it is along the direction of r, right? So
Yeah.
it may be negative direction or it may be positive direction depending on whatever it comes. So let's say one charge is minus, okay, and another charge is plus.
Hmm.
Then in that case, this whole term becomes minus. That means the force will be, this is our direction, right? The
Yeah.
force will be in the opposite direction. That means attractive force. Say both the charges are plus,
Hmm.
then anyways this symbol is plus, so it is in the direction of r. That means in this direction. That means it is a
Yeah.
repulsive force.
Wait, how
All
can we
right,
say it's repulsion? Like,
it is repulsive. See, okay, we'll do it like this. So let's say there is a charge q1.
yeah.
Just assume that this charge is on the origin itself. So this is the direction of your r vector, and there is a charge q2. Okay. So at a time you can take one as a one particular object as a system, right? So let's say we assume this as a system, and we are analyzing the forces acting on this body.
Right.
Okay, so the forces acting on Q2, so force acting on Q2 is written something like this, right?
Yeah.
So if this is positive and this is also positive, the whole equation becomes positive.
Yeah.
So the force acting on Q2 is in the direction of R,
Mm-hmm.
right? No, in the direction of R.
Yeah.
That means it is repulsive force because it is going away, no, in the direction of R,
Okay. But going
right?
along the. Okay. Yeah.
Along means away from the initial charge, no?
Yeah. Right. Right.
Okay, so similarly, if this is negative and this is negative, again this whole equation becomes positive. So this term becomes positive. That means again in the direction of R. So that means again it is repulsive force.
Okay.
If one is positive and another is negative, then this particular thing becomes
Negative.
negative. That means the force is towards this direction in the
Yeah.
negative direction of R.
Okay.
That means the force is attracted,
Right.
right? Understood
Right.
till now? So the
Yeah.
same equation can be written, if you write it properly, the same equation is written something like this.
Epsilon naught is permittivity.
Epsilon naught is called as the permittivity of free space. Free space basically is vacuum. You will get permittivity of some other medium, so don't worry about that. So
So
we'll see this 1 by
yeah,
4 pi. Huh?
the medium is E R is equal to E naught into something. Right?
See, that will be basically the relative permittivity we know. So permittivity of a medium M will be basically equals to whatever the relative permittivity is divided by the epsilon naught. So don't worry about that. That will be given to you. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So something like relative gravity and all, you know, no? With respect to water, what is the gravity of some other object? Relative density. Okay. So anyways, whatever it is, it will be given to you in the questions. So this is basically, this constant will be equals to how much? 9 into 10 to the power 9, and E specifically is equals to 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay. The units and all you can get it from that, right? So what will be the force? Force is basically 1 pi by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. Then what will be the unit of this k? So this is k, no? K q1 q2 by r square. So this k unit will be how, what? So this is basically 9 into 10 to the power 9
Yeah.
Newton meter square coulomb square,
How can you
right?
let it in dimension formula?
Newton meter square divided by coulomb square.
This thing, the dimension formula. Like,
Dimensional formula if you want. So what is the dimensional formula of n? That is mlt to the power minus 2, I think. You can get it, no?
yeah. Okay.
And this L is what? L to the power 2, and this is Coulomb is represented as Q, I think, or C. C square. So, okay, so this will become ml cube t to the power minus 2 by C square.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Coulomb is represented as C only, I think. You can just check it.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So now what we'll see is, we'll see what is electric field. You understood, no? Till now we just had to study only electric, I mean the force. So now what we'll see is what is electric field. Okay, the problem is in this equation, if you see, what we are referring is there has to be two charges for the forces to act. Right, no?
Yeah.
So that means, can we say something like, if there was only one charge, let's say Q. So there was one charge placed at a point, and there is no charge in its vicinity. So of course there is no forces existing, right? But let's say suddenly you bring a charge here,
Okay.
right? No, what happens? What happens in this scenario, that this charge sees this charge and starts attracting or repelling. Getting my point? What I want to say is, there is not like this charge is looking after in its vicinity that any other charge is coming to me or not. This has an influence, an area of influence it is already having. Within that, if something
But
comes,
based on the charge, when like it feels on the like it feels the forces.
what?
Based around the charge, which which experiences a force or something.
Yeah, the thing is, when a charge is kept in its vicinity, you already have a kind of a field.
Okay.
Okay, no, so it is already having a field extended along its vicinity, so that something, if some another charge comes in between this, I mean in its vicinity, it will start attracting this.
Right.
All right, no.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not that when a charge comes, then only the force starts, I mean, acting. So there is already an area of influence because of this charge. In that area of influence, if something comes, it is going to attract it. So that area of
Attract and
influence
repel.
is,
Both can be there, right?
huh?
Attract or repel.
Attract or repel. Yeah, of course. Attract or repel, anything can be there. So in that region, if something comes, some another charge comes, the force according to the formula kq1 q2 by r square, it will start acting. Okay, so we define something as an electric field potential or electric field, we directly tell, or electric field intensity, we tell. That is represented something like this: the force per unit charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you have to remember that this is per unit test charge.
Okay. Test charge, it means that it's a unit charge. Does it mean that?
No, no, no. It doesn't mean that it is a unit charge. We are just trying to test it.
Okay.
As I told you, let's say a capital Q charge is kept somewhere. We
Yeah.
just want to see what is the force. I mean, what is the electric field? We just want to calculate what is the electric field due to this charge. So we are just going to bring a small test charge along its vicinity. Nearer to this charge, we'll just bring this charge and see what is the force acting on this.
Yeah.
So this can be anything. You just nothing special in this test charge. Test charge is basically some charge you are bringing to it, but as you can see, the electric field which is already existing around this Q was not dependent on this Q charge,
Yeah.
right? No, because it could have been anything. Whatever charge you bring, the electric field was the electric field of this charge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see the formula also, the electric field, how what it will become? The Q1, Q2, no? So let's say Q was the charge of
Yeah.
which we are trying to find the electric field divided by R square. If you see divided by Q charge, the test charge, it becomes how much? The electric field is basically K Q by R square. So it is
Right.
not depending on your test charge, right?
Right. Yeah.
Force per unit charge is basically called your electric field, right?
Okay.
No?
Yeah. Good.
What will be the direction of the electric field? It will be direction, it will be in the direction of the force,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So if you see, let's say a positive Q charge is kept,
Right.
and we just want to find what is the electric field at this direction, at this point.
Yeah.
So what we do is we just bring a Q charge, a
Yeah.
small test charge here. This is also, let's say, positive. So what will be the force acting on this? In this direction, away, radially away, right?
Good.
No.
Yeah.
So it will be repelling and it will be radially away. So the force
Yeah.
acting will
This
be
is the thing.
basically
You want to ask.
KQ by R square.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is in the direction of R.
Right.
So you can write it something like this.
Right.
Okay, divided by the Q charge, it cancels out. So whatever if the electric field you want to calculate, it will be something like this. So it will be again in the direction of R here.
Shouldn't this be a vector like arrow here? R should be a
What?
no, the R cube. Like it's one second. No, 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 nothing. Sorry, sorry.
No, no, you cannot divide by a vector basically.
Yeah.
See,
Okay. Okay.
if you write the formula, you can write it something like
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
See, F is what? K
Hmm.
Q1 Q2 by R square.
Yeah.
But if you want to write it in terms of vector terms, you
Yeah.
just multiply it by the vector
Yeah.
r vector, and its
Divided by
magnitude
five.
you can just put it here.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood. Sorry.
Okay, no. So
Yeah.
this is basically equal to something like this. See,
Yeah. Understood.
or you can write it something like this.
Yeah. I know. Understood.
A unit vector in direction of r,
Yeah.
and
R
you
nothing but
don't cube it here. You can write a unit vector along the direction of r also.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
cube it. And what is
But,
unit vector along the direction of r? It will
it's
be
R.
r vector divided by the magnitude of r,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Okay, so what we saw is the electric field direction due to a positive charge will be away from it. We just saw, because it will be in the direction of the force, right?
Right.
So if you bring a negative charge here, what will happen? The force direction will be in this direction. But if you write the equation something like this, so what will be the equation written as k q1 q into q? This becomes minus and
Negative Q.
r square divided by your charge q.
Yeah.
So if you divide this, one minute, sorry, one second. So electric field is in the direction of the force. Okay. Okay. So what you do is you just remember for the time being, I'll tell you why. You bring a test charge here and we assume that this test charge is positive. So whatever the direction is, that is the direction of the electric field. Why it is, basically if you try to write it something like this, okay, so if a positive charge is there, so if you want to take a negative charge, if you want to bring a negative charge in the electric field, it will get negative of the so force will become what? Force will become negative of the electric field. I mean negative side. So it will become an attractive force if you bring a negative charge here. That's why what we do is we write the electric field due to a positive charge away from it. Is it okay?
Yeah. Okay.
You understood, no?
Yeah, understand.
So the electric field due to a positive charge will be away from it. And similarly, if you see, then electric field due to a negative charge will be towards it. So let's say at this point A, you want to find what is the electric field on it. So the electric field direction will be towards it. So electric field will be basically all across. So let's say you put a point charge here. So it will be extending all over. Okay, no. So if you draw the field, or if you just let's say this is the point, you want to find the electric field here. So this point, the electric field be this way. This way, if you go again here, the electric field be somewhat lesser than it. So it will be drawn something like this.
Okay.
If you go again away, it will be again little lesser. So this is a vector quantity. So it will be spreading something like this all over. Okay. So understood, no? What I want to say. So it will be in all the directions.
Okay.
So it is just represented, it is just a vector quantity. That's why it is represented like this. This is a vector field. Okay? You understood, no? So this is just for our representation. It's not that it physically they are existing like that. Alright, so it's not that physically there are some lines created along
Yeah,
the.
imaginary lines.
It is just an imaginary lines just for our sake of our understanding that at a point if you bring a test charge in what direction the force is going to act and with what magnitude, right? Okay.
Okay.
So now the thing is, if you have two charges kept, so let's say you are having a charge q1 here and you are having a charge q2 here, and let's say they want you to they are asking you what is the electric field at this point A, then since it is a vector quantity, you have to find the vector sum of it. The electric field due to both the charges will be what?
You have to find the vector. So the
So there will be
resultant.
somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
right? No, so something like this. So you have to find the resultant of the vector field.
That is called law of superposition or something. Right?
No, not like that. So that is in case of your vector. I mean waves and all laws of superposition.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry about that. So it is just a simple vector sum. The electric field is a vector quantity. You get two electric fields in a region, then you have to do a vector sum there. All right. So similarly, if you see, let's say I draw a charge plus q
Hmm.
and I draw a charge minus q here.
Okay.
Okay, same charges. At this particular point, what will be the direction of the electric field? So due to plus q, if you see, you will have the direction of the electric field
Hmm.
in this direction, right? And
Yeah.
in minus q, the direction will be like this.
Okay.
So the direction will be like this with respect to the minus q, and with plus q, it will be away, right?
Yeah.
Right, no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
yeah,
the,
okay.
the electric field will be in this direction, right?
Okay, okay.
What about this point? Plus q, this side minus q. Since it is minus q, it is towards the minus q, right? So positive charge, as we saw, it is away from the positive charge, yes, the electric field. And
Yeah.
negative charge, if you see, it will be towards the negative charges.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so it is towards the negative charge, see here.
Mm.
So this
Yeah.
this is the point where we want to find the electric field. So it is towards the negative charge, it is away from the positive charge. So the resultant will be somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now if you try to find what will be the electric field at this point, so electric field due to this charge will be away from it, and electric field due to the negative charge will be towards it,
Towards the yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
this quantity will be less
Mm.
because minus q is far away, and this quantity will be more because plus q is nearer, right, at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
resultant where it will be, so resultant it will be in this direction only.
Mm.
Similarly, if you see in this direction, at this point, the electric field due to minus q will be here, and
Yeah.
electric field due to plus q will be this side. So
Yeah.
resultant it will be in this direction,
Yeah.
right? So what I was trying to say is, if two charges are kept like this, the electric field lines are something like this.
Right.
From q, it is like this. Understood? Ending at q minus q. You understood, no?
Yeah. Understood.
Why? We just saw, no, at this particular point, at the horizontal bisector, if you say
Yeah.
it is in this direction, right? So that's what
Yeah.
I have drawn here, in this direction.
Yeah.
Similarly, at this downwards points, if you can see it is in the horizontal direction only, straight line. So that's why I have drawn here. And at this point, you saw that it is towards the towards the plus q. So similarly, like this, it will go on happening, right? No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is how you draw the line of field lines.
Okay.
Okay, due to combination of charges, this is why you draw field lines like this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the middle of the charges, if you see at this point,
Mm.
what will happen?
Okay. Positive and
This will
negative.
be in this direction, and again plus q will also be in the same direction.
Right.
So it will be away from positive direction to the negative direction in this case also.
Yeah.
Understood,
So,
no?
so positive, negative.
Yeah, it is positive negative. So you can see that electric field lines due to a dipole. Okay, so a combination of a positive charge and an equal negative charge will be called as a dipole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
the
you can
combination.
see that these are not closed
Yeah.
loops.
Yeah.
Okay, closed loops basically means what? So if you started from a positive charge and a negative charge like this, so the charges, the electric field line starts from this side, okay, goes into the negative charge and stops there. It is not creating a closed loop. Understood?
But the electric field should form closed loop, right? That's the property.
No, 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 no. Electric field will not form a closed loop. That
Yeah.
is why we define a potential due to a electric field. We
Okay.
don't define a potential due to a magnetic field because magnetic field lines are closed lines. Don't worry about that for the time being. We'll see those things when we come to magnetic field. So you see that the direction is reversed at this particular point. It started with this point, ended with this point, but it didn't close. It again started from the positive to negative. Understood now?
Okay. Yeah.
This way a dipole moment, the electric
Right.
field lines are there for a positive and a negative charge. When a combination of positive and negative charges come
Okay.
together, right? So if you do something like this, what about a positive charge and a positive charge kept together? So here the electric field will be basically zero, right? No, this side and this side cancels out.
So even when you take it to just kept, it's the same thing.
The same thing, yeah. So if
Okay.
it is positive, then it will be again like this. It will be increasing in this direction. It will be, it will be somewhat like this. So if you see at this particular point, you can see that the electric field due to this point is this way, and the
Okay.
electric field due to this particular charge is this way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the electric field will be what? It will be in somewhere in middle,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So in this case, what happens is the electric field goes somewhat like this. So now the thing is electric field lines, at any particular electric field line, if you draw the tangent at a point, you will get the actual direction of the electric field at that particular point. Got my point?
Yeah.
So these are electric lines of curve, electric curve lines if it is there. So at any point, if someone asks you what is the direction of the electric field, you just have to draw a tangent.
Okay.
Right? No? So this is the direction of the electric field it is.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so it goes something like this. Okay, so it will come like this, like this, like this, but at the middle there will be no electric field. Alright,
Yeah, uncle. Yeah.
okay. Now we will see what is electric potential. Now that is important. Okay. Okay. Now what is the potential? We do you remember the work energy chapter? We
Yeah.
had seen something, no?
Collisions path. Nothing.
No, no, no. Work energy chapter, in the work energy chapter we had seen what is the change in potential energy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So what we had seen is
It's equal
change
to the
in
change.
potential energy.
So it's equal to the work the work done by the internal forces, internal conservative forces.
Right. So the change in potential energy of a system basically is equals to negative of the work done by a conservative and internal force. Right now, this is what we saw. Okay. Now, for the time being, you just assume that the electric field or the electric force is a conservative force, and that is also an internal force. If you consider both the charges as a system, okay, the electric force will be basically a internal force, and it is also conservative force. So
Yeah.
that's why we can define what is change in a potential change in
So it's negative or what?
electric potential energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the change in electric potential energy. So we are not defining potential here. In fact, we are defining electric potential energy first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
what we are defining is electric potential energy, and since we know that there is nothing called as a potential energy, basically what we call is change in
Mm.
potential energy.
Okay.
All right, no? So the
Yeah.
change in electric potential energy. So change in electric potential energy is basically referred to as negative of the work done by the electric force.
Yeah.
Right? No, this electric force is basically conservative in nature, and it is also internal force.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? That's why we can find change in potential energy.
Okay.
Okay? We'll
Yeah.
just try to get the formula of it. So let's say you are having a charge Q1 here,
Okay.
and you are having a charge Q2. Let's say the distance between these are r, and this
Mm.
q2 is, let's say, moved along this direction
Okay.
due to the force acting on it. Okay,
Yeah.
so when the distance between these two were r, what was the force acting on q2?
What's
So
this equivalent?
basically what we want to say is, let's say q1 was
Yeah.
at a point a,
Yeah.
q2 was initially at a point b.
Mm.
We want to bring this q2 up to a distance c. We are
Okay.
changing the configuration of the system. You
Mm.
getting my point?
Yeah.
So, as we had seen in the gravitation also, I mean work energy also, let's say this is Earth. Okay, you have kept a mass here and you are just raising this mass up to here. So, you are changing the configuration, then there is a change in potential energy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, we are changing the configuration of the system, of the Earth and mass system. So, similarly, of these two charge systems, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to, I mean, initially this charge will be Q1 will be at point A and Q2 will be at point 2B, and finally the charge orientation will be something like this. Q1 will be at point A and Q2 will be at point C.
Okay.
Okay, this is your initial position and this is your final position.
Okay.
So what we want to find is what will be the change in potential energy when this is done.
Yeah.
When basically the configuration of the system is changed from this initial to this final.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So how we can do this is we just want we just know the formula. that the change in potential energy defined as change in potential energy basically what? Now the potential energy basically, let's say this distance was r1
Yeah.
and this distance was r2. So when the distance between a and b was r1, and when the distance has changed to r2, what is the potential energy at r2 minus what is the potential energy at r1? This is what can be called as the change in potential energy,
Okay.
right? No,
Okay.
this will be equals to what? Negative of the work done by the electric force, right? No.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Now the thing is,
Um,
the now you can imagine that the electric
force
force
into
is changing
displacement
at.
is what,
Huh?
right? Use the formula, right?
Yeah, we'll use the formula, but the problem here is at each point the electric force is changing, isn't it? When
Yeah.
Q1 was here, the distance is R, the formula depends on R. When Q2 comes here, the distance is again something else, the formula will again change. Right, no? So we cannot simply multiply it directly, no, for initial and the final position. So that's
Yeah.
why we can take the help of calculus here. So what
Okay.
we'll do is, as we had done it earlier, no, in case of solid bodies, at any arbitrary distance, let's say r,
Yeah.
you move a small distance dr,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll find what is the work done between these two, I mean between this dr. Okay, we'll just find what is the work done between this dr displacement, and then we'll integrate for point B to point C. Okay, so the small work done by the electric force during the moment in dr will be equals to what? Whatever the force was acting
Yeah. Into R.
into the displacement.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Okay,
integrate. Yeah.
the force was acting how much? K q1 q2
By R square.
by r square, because we just don't differentiate much between the distance r and r plus dr. So
Okay.
we assume
Okay.
that this is constant duration during dr. Dr is very small. Okay,
Yeah.
into dr. Now the total work done will be how much? Integration of k q1 q2 by r square dr, right?
Yeah.
When the distance is from r1 to r2.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. So this constant we can take it out.
Now
Yeah.
that this k1 k2 k q1 q2 is constant, this becomes integration of r1 to r2, r to the power minus 2 dr. What is the integration of it?
Uh, yeah. One second.
Integration of x to the power n dx is equals to how much?
N x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1.
All right. So here what it comes?
So it's x to the power minus 1. So you can't take that. It's r to the
R to the
power
power minus 1
by
divided by
uh,
minus 1.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
It's
this,
the designated way, right?
huh?
Okay. No, no, no. Sorry. This is yeah.
This one will write r1 to r2.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now how much it becomes? So that the work done by the electric force becomes how much? K q1 q2 by minus 1 into minus r from r1 to r2. This becomes K q1 q2 minus of it. Initially it becomes minus r2
Minus
minus
R1.
minus r1.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so it becomes what?
Okay.
K q1 q2
Yeah.
divided by r1 minus r2.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this becomes this one.
This is the work.
No, 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 no. We have done some mistake. No, see, it is r to the power minus 1. Sorry, r2 to the power minus 1 and r1 to the power minus 1, like this. Okay,
Okay.
so this becomes what? K q1 q2 divided by 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Have you done something mistake? Some negative sign issues coming. Are we missing some negative sign here?
Um,
say this here. Okay, Q1 Q2 r to the power minus 2 integration is r to the power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1, that is r to the power minus 1 divided by minus 1. Okay, so this becomes this one. So initially it is basically 1 by, okay, first it becomes r2 minus minus of this is r1. So this becomes this way. This is r1 minus r2. We are doing some mistake. Just see a negative sign issue is there. Just check, are we missing a negative sign somewhere? R1 to R2. I'm doing some mistake here. Are you doing some mistake? Hari, did you see this? I'm trying to complete the work done. It seems correct, no?
Yeah, not like the last page. I don't think there's any mistake.
Then here you just see whether we are doing some mistake here.
Sheet.
So the work done basically is integration of k q1 q2 by r square dr from r1 to r2. Okay, so that means basically k q1 q2 integration of r1 to r2 1 by r square dr. Okay, now this becomes k q1 q2 r to the power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 from r1 to r2. This becomes basically k q1 q2 minus, and this is 1 by r. Okay, yeah, we have done a mistake, no? We have taken minus twice there. Okay, fine. We took minus twice, no? See this, we have taken this minus here already.
Yeah.
Still we have kept this minus here. Got my point?
Yeah.
Understood? No.
Yeah. But
So basically, it is so it becomes what? It becomes your k. This minus comes here. K q1 q2 1 by r. Okay, r1 to r2.
okay.
This becomes what? Minus k q1 q2 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. All right.
Yeah.
This can be written as k q1 q2 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Okay. Or we need not write this also. So let it be like this itself. Okay. Okay.
Getting.
Now the thing is, what we know about the work energy is, so we got what? The work done by the electric force is
Yeah.
basically equals to k q1 q2
Okay.
1 by r1, sorry, 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1, right?
Yeah.
Negative of it. This is what we got there.
Yeah.
Right now, this one 1 by r2 minus, sorry,
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
by r2 minus 1 by r1. Okay, this is what we got. So now you know that change in potential energy is equals to negative of the work done by electric force, because this electric force is conservative and it is also internal. Okay,
Okay.
internal means they themselves are acting among themselves, so there is no one external which is who is applying the forces there. So we can write that when the potential energy was there at the position r2 minus when it was initially at the position r1, that is what the change in potential energy is, right?
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
equals to negative of this k q1 q2 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1, right? So this becomes basically what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2, okay, 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1, right?
Right.
This is your change in potential energy when a particle, when the separation between two charges was initially r1 and the separation has become r2 now. So the change in potential energy has happened something like this. Okay,
Okay.
right. So now the thing is, there is nothing like uh, too much worry to remember these things. Okay, so how you can remember it? See, this is your force, that is you remember already,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
This is force.
Yeah. Okay.
Electric force was force by charge.
Mm.
So just remove one charge from there.
Right.
Okay, right now.
Yeah.
Now, what is your potential? Potential energy.
Okay.
Energy is equivalent to what?
Um,
Work done.
into, yeah, work
Energy is
done.
equivalent to work done.
Yeah. Of course.
So just remove one part of from the force. Just remove one r
Okay.
from the bottom. You're
Yeah.
multiplying no with distance.
Oh, good.
You got my point. No, just I'm just telling you how to remember this formula.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Yes, sir.
So you just have to remember. I just have to remove one r from the bottom from force.
Okay.
Got it? So
Yeah. Okay.
basically, since there was two configuration, how you have to do is
Yeah.
1 by R2 minus 1 by R1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, we can define potential energy at a point also. So
Okay.
potential energy at a point R is defined as,
Mm.
see, I have told you initially also, there is nothing called as a potential energy. There is always a change in potential energy, right
Okay.
now, with
Yeah.
respect to an internal conservative force. So if we are talking about potential energy at a point, that basically means that you have taken another point which you are assuming the potential energy there to be zero.
Yeah.
Got my point? So that
Mm.
means this is your final position minus something zero, right now.
Yeah.
So what you have done is you have just assumed some point where you have assumed that the potential energy was zero. So that way we can define. So what we are doing is we are assuming that when the separation between the two particles were infinity, all right, when the separation between the two particles were infinity, that means they were kept at infinity, they can be assumed that the potential energy was zero. Then potential energy at a point r can be defined something like this. So the potential energy when the separation of R was equals to how much? So this can be again written something like this. What was initially? It was R2 minus 1 by R1,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this one you can write something like this, 1 by R divided by 1 by infinity. Okay. Huh?
And okay.
Right now 1 by infinity tends to 0. So that's what I told you, no? K q1 q2 by r square. This is force into some unit of displacement. You just remove 1 r from here. Got my point? So force into displacements gives you work done, no? Work done is equivalent to energy, right? Work done also you gets in joules, no?
Yeah.
And energy is also in joules. So you just remove from force, you remove 1 r from bottom, you will get potential energy. From force, you remove 1 q from top, you will get the electric field.
Electric field.
Right, no?
Yeah.
Electric field was force divided by charge. Remove one charge from here.
Yeah.
Okay? In force.
Yeah.
Okay? Force into displacement is something related to energy. You remove one displacement from bottom. Right?
Yeah.
So this is how you can get this. You
Okay.
understood till now?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so we'll just close this class today and I'll just tell you again, we'll revise one thing what we studied just today. So what we studied is the force due to two charges is basically q1 q2 by r square into some k. This k is written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Epsilon naught value is 8.85 into something. Just want to remember it, 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. And the whole value is the whole value of this k, I mean 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is equals to 9 into 10 to the power 9. Units you can just see. Okay, so we saw that electric field lines are away from the positive charge.
In positive,
Okay.
positive and
And
negative charge.
towards the negative charge.
Yeah.
Okay. We also saw that when two charges are kept together, the electric field lines will be something like this, going from positive, ending into negative. We also saw that how it comes. So basically it comes like this and like this. So the resultant is this one. That's why we draw the electric field line something like this. Right? Right? No? Okay. Then we also saw what is electric field. Electric field is basically doesn't depend on the test charge. Electric field is already existing in the space when a charge is kept. We just bring a test charge q to test it. Okay, so the force per unit charge will be called as the electric field. So this becomes what? Kq by 4 pi epsilon naught. This is the electric field due to q, which we are referring now. Okay? Sorry, r square.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
4 pi epsilon naught is removed. Like, from that.
Sorry. Huh. So this is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, you can just say. Okay? Now we also defined that change in potential energy equals to negative of the work done by conservative and electric conservative internal forces. And since electric force is a conservative internal force, we saw that it can be written as change in negative of the work done by the electric force. So we saw what R2 minus R1, that means change in potential energy when the configuration was changed from initially R1 to final R2. That means change is what? Final minus initial, that can be written as k q1 q2 divided by 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. Okay. All right. So so if you want to have a potential energy at a particular configuration, you can define it something like this. Okay. So assuming this point to have a potential energy as 0, right? No.
Yeah.
So we can define potential energy at a point. Basically, potential energy at a point is not defined. So in terms of some reference point, we can define. So here infinity has been taken as a reference, and we are assuming that at infinity the potential energy was 0. So this could have been written something like this: q1 q2 by r. Right. So this 1 by infinity becomes 0. Okay. So you just remove one r from the bottom for f. That gives you the potential energy. So this is what we saw in this chapter, and so there is something else left. I mean, potential is left, electric field due to dipoles is left, and okay, fine. We'll see in the next class then. Okay. See, this is a simple chapter itself. If you want, you can try solving questions. Just you can take a calculator and sit and just go on solving questions. So basically, it will require a lot of calculations. So for quickly solving it, you can use a calculator and you can solve some numericals out of this. Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay, Ari, then we'll close for today.
Okay.
See you in the next class, okay? Okay. Bye bye.
Mama tadi tuh.
Hmm.